y'all can hear it on your end? Oh, there it is.
Look at this guy. Look how amazing he looks, huh? And here we are, right?
Yeah, go back to your Discord.
Go back to the Discord. And here we are, right? And that's it. Look at that. Now I full screen that, right? And there we are. Oh, here we are. Live. The very first episode. I know everybody's excited. Hold on. This is the first episode of Buff and Stuff. And guess what? There he is. He's Buff. And we're the stuff over here. Well, he's the stuff. We're the in part. We're the in stuff part. Let's introduce everyone. Those of you who already know me on Twitch, I'm the wrestling historian, your boy, Chris Odiola. Here I am. We have down here Will the Mark. Y'all know about Will the Mark, the biggest fan of Buff ever, the biggest fan of wrestling. And then we have right here, live in the flesh, y'all. Y'all didn't know if I could do it or not, did you? Oh, he's Buff. He's the stuff. And now Twitch TV can't get enough. Oh, say hello, Buff. Say a little something. Let these guys, let them hear your voice.
What's going on, fellow Twitchers?
I did it.
How's it going, man? I love it. We were just talking a minute ago. If we would have a writer in Hollywood to pick a time to put a podcast out with my face on it, we literally couldn't have picked a better time, and it was just a lot of luck in Chris's category and for all of us to be able to do this with it coming out with a little bit of traction, or say a lot of traction I've got right now with because of my sobriety. It's a great thing, and it's just with the DDP videos that are out, and then the Vice show coming out. It couldn't be a better time for people to ask questions on a fantastic delivery for Vice.
It's true.
Putting my story out. They did a great job editing it and did a fantastic job telling it.
And so here we are. We had no idea it would be like this, guys, but we should have, because he's Buff Bagwell. But when we initially started this project, this has been in the makings for a while. When we initially started this, we had no idea that he would break the internet. But hey, you're back. So this show, like he said, the show is not just your everyday podcast. Yes, obviously we're going to talk about Buff Bagwell all the doggone time. We're going to talk about wrestling. We're going to talk about championships. We're going to talk about WCW. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about cups of coffee. We're going to talk about life. But also, this is a sobriety podcast as well. So we're,
Absolutely.
I'm struggling with it. We're still, everybody's going through some things, but this is an actual opportunity to where, since we're live on Twitch, anybody who's watching, you can, if you're going through something or anything like that, you can reach out, because this isn't just, hey, I'm just going to listen. When you're watching this on YouTube, it'll just be listening by that point. But come check us out here live on Twitch. Get your voice heard. And I guess, now you guys know how this show basically is going to be formatted. This is just the first episode of what I want to be many, many, many. And here we are. So this is how this first episode basically is. You're the man, the myth, the legend. That's why this episode's entitled that. We're going to ask all the questions that everybody wants to know first. Get to know a little bit about our boy Buff. I know super fucking fanboy down here is going to be so excited to hear everything about his favorite guy. But before we get into all that, I have to do my little bit of fanboying too. Just give me 2 seconds, y'all, because I am your biggest fan, brother. I want you to see. Check it out. We got the Buff Bagwell poster, right? NWO. Let me ask you this. Do you remember this motherfucker right here? You remember this guy? A little bit of Buff Bagwell's neighborhood right there. That's his puppet, y'all. This is the guy that told me to reach out to you, Buff, believe it or not. I mean,
Yes,
I'm
I
not
know.
crazy, but yeah. So all right, there we go. I did my fanboy. There's my little fanboy stuff. Cause yeah, I'm totally in love. I know. Will's got your action figure, brother. He's got your action figure.
There he is.
There he
Baby.
is. This stuff. All right, all right,
Yes.
all right. So
I've had this for 24 years.
Wow. That's
wow,
that's a good one. That's a real good one.
24 years.
And it's beat up because I played with mine as a kid. So
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
Oh man, I gotta get a little
Listen,
closer.
I got a new one of those coming out. I
oh yeah, is
I'm good.
haven't posted it yet, but it's the toy company's name is Asylum.
Oh god.
I don't have one with me, but I just got them shipped to me. But they're up. I think you could go online on Asylum and get them. They're just it's got me and my um, like my. Here's a picture of it.
Oh, here we go. Awesome.
I mean, it's not a good picture, but you can see the box. These are boxes of them.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's got that vest. See, that's my
Well,
original
it's
favorite
the
buff.
trench. I had a vest and a trench.
That
It was
was.
the exact same style, but this was the trench. This comes with the trench and the top hat,
Oh
and
wow,
it's really good.
that was.
Asylum's the name of the company, and it's a really good toy,
Well,
really
with
good action figure.
I'm gonna. Hey now.
yeah, this
We're,
one came
we're,
with a
we're-
top hat as well. It's just I don't have it anymore.
Did it come with a top hat?
Yeah, because I saw it on eBay. You can get a new one, and yeah, it has a top hat. I
oh
was thinking about
Remember the one?
my graphic.
Do you remember the top hat that was spring loaded?
no.
Yeah, yeah.
It was an action figure, and mine came. It came with a spring loaded top hat.
Oh shit.
It was the one that had the old man with it. It was called the Fed.
Oh
Yeah, and you like there's like a wheelchair or something in there.
Oh, that was another one, but the one
That's
I'm
a
talking
different one.
about, there's a wrestler that looks like a. I hate to say this, I worship Ric Flair, but it looks like an old Ric Flair in there, and it says the Fed.
The
I
Fed.
think it's maybe Federation at WWF. I'm guessing it's meaning that. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know,
I'm hoping
but it
so.
says the Fed, and it's an old little character that I come with, but my hat is it ejects off my head. It's crazy.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Spring loaded
Yeah, this
head.
one spins around.
Oh,
That's,
Try to do
yes.
it.
that's so he can do his
And then
flex.
the wheelchair action figure came from me and Scotty were doing those skits where I'd come out in the wheelchair, and he let me go down the ramp, and I would fall, and Eric Bischoff, we got our biggest ratings ever with those wheelchair spots, but Eric
Wow.
came to us and goes, "Y'all got to stop doing it. You got to. We're getting sued by the Wheelchair Association of America."
Are you for real?
And so we quit doing it, and then an action figure comes out with me inside the wheelchair where the wheels fall off.
With
So I'm like, what
Yeah.
the hell do you mean?
that is great. That's perfect. All right.
So on this notes you gave me of things to talk about, one of my favorite ones to talk about because it was the beginning
Yes.
is Missy Hyatt. I love telling the Missy Hyatt story.
Well, let's do it.
brother.
That's what I was about to get into. Let's
We were
go.
talking about that before
Tell
you
me
called.
about. Let's talk about Missy Hyatt. You called it.
Nobody could wrap their head around what I was going through at this time. But I had gone to, first of all, I was going to be rich my entire life. My parents had a lumber company that we didn't have to do anything but lumber, and we were going to be rich, and that's all we were. We were the Bagwells of Marietta that ran Southeastern Building Supply, and we were already successful.
Wow.
All we had to do was step into the role. My brothers were already working there, and then I come in. I'm still in high school, and they're going broke,
Oh.
and just bad times hit. It's things that happened we didn't think was happening, and it went down. And then there she is, Missy Hyatt.
Oh yes.
And then
Trying to get it to
and
get the
then
right.
and then when Dad told us he was going down, what do you do at 18? I don't know what I want to do.
That was.
But I got into massage therapy school. And the reason for that is I want to do something with sports anatomy. I want to do something that was sports related. But my grade point average was horrible. I had a 1.8 grade point average
Okay.
because I didn't have to do good grades. I was going to go be a
An
lumber
athlete.
person.
Okay. Yeah. You didn't worry about
So-
education.
So when I got ready to do it, I thought, what about massage therapy? I can get money instantly when I graduate, and I can lead to maybe sports medicine. or something like that, have still be a sports trainer or something. So I go to the Atlanta School of Massage, 10 months, $10,000. My dad had enough money to get us in something to kind of help us get going. So I went to school and I graduate number one in my class. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I get to my number one job, first client walking in. It's a female. She walks in the
Ooh.
massage therapy room. She looks at me. She does not say a word. She turns around and walks out.
She didn't want you to massage her?
No. And I went, what, ma'am? What? And I can't remember exactly what I said at that first one. All of a sudden it happened again and again. And I finally said, ma'am, what is the problem? And she goes, there's no way you're massaging me.
What?
There's no way. And I go, what do you mean? She goes, I started hearing my husband would kill me. I may have some fat on my back. Basically, women were insecure, and a light bulb went over my head like, of course they are, man. This is not an easy transaction. I mean, we had classes for months over the transition of shaking hands and your client taking their clothes off. It was a big deal, bro. It's a very controversial area of trying to be, the word masseuse.
Yeah.
It was trying to get cleaned up to massage therapist.
Oh, so they didn't want a sexy massage man?
What happened, I think, is me being an attractive younger guy, most women would be kind of cocky, I think, and go, absolutely, I want a good-looking man to massage me.
Right.
But really, I think the insecure women, I think it's tough when that clothes off thing.
Yeah.
I think they were so insecure that me being attractive, they were uncomfortable.
Makes it
I remember
intimidating.
seeing dudes that were going to massage therapy school with me that were pasty white, bald-headed,
Looking like me.
not attractive looking guys, and not attractive looking dudes. And I swear they were making a killing. So I thought, man, with me being in shape,
Yeah.
and caring about my body and dieting, I'm going to do really good. Dead wrong.
Oh.
In the middle of this controversy of 10 months of schooling, $10,000, and realizing I can't change my looks. And if I could, I wouldn't change and be uglier.
Yeah, right.
In this middle of this controversy, I'm at the pool, and Missy Hyatt discovers me.
Oh, so you're just laying out.
I'm at the pool, and she's sitting across the pool. I see this blonde, and I think she's got the story a little bit wrong. But when you get discovered, you remember every piece of it.
I bet.
I remember seeing the blonde across the pool, and I remember saying, man, that's a really good-looking blonde. And I remember going back to, like a couple hours later, I went back to my apartment. When I got back to my apartment, she was moving in directly across from me. I remember our apartment number. We were 1504, and Missy was 1505.
Oh,
And
so
I remember thinking,
right next door.
being 18, I was just 19 years old. I was like, wow, I just had turned 19. So I was like, wow, I said, weird. That's ironic. That same blonde-haired girl I saw was moving next door to me. I didn't know it, but she told the person, move me next to that good-looking guy.
Ah!
She didn't know I was engaged. I was engaged to be married to my first wife, Tanya.
She probably didn't care about it.
So that night, I'm telling Tanya about it, and Missy knocks on the door. I don't know who Missy is. I haven't watched pro wrestling in 8 years.
Okay.
I don't. All of a sudden, she's telling me her story, and she goes, "You should be a wrestler." I go, Missy. I go, those guys don't make no money. And she goes, our lowest paid guy makes $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
And I said, tell me more.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Long story short, and Buff Bagwell, Marcus Alexander Bagwell, was discovered at Poplar Place Apartments in Kennesaw, Georgia, by Missy Hyatt.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
That's really cool, actually, dude. That means you were obviously.
She was married. She was married to Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
That's what I was getting into right there. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. So she obviously she knew you were an attractive man. So her being married with Eddie was that wasn't a problem with you guys ever?
So listen what happens. And keep in mind, brother, these ain't made up stories.
No,
These are
okay.
stories that are confirmed. Missy Hyatt would confirm this, but one night,
Buff tells the
in the
truth.
middle of the night, I'm going to wrestling school now.
Mhm.
I'm still massaging, trying to make some money, but I got a really big man clientele. But you need both women and men in wrestling. You need women and men in anything you do, restaurants. I don't care, tattooing. If you only have one of the man or female, you need both to be successful.
It's true.
in
You're missing
any
half.
category
Yeah,
in
you're
life.
missing half. There's two.
That's half the population.
Yeah,
bro.
right there.
So one night I hear a commotion going on. Keep in mind, 1504, 1505. There's a hallway
Next door.
between me and Missy, and that's it. I mean, 10 feet. So I hear a commotion one night, and I'm training at this time. But I look out my eye hole, and they have got an. Let me tell you something, brother. In 1989, a gas grill meant something.
Yeah, that's big time, dude. That's big time. My daddy was acting like that was the
Gas grill on rollers.
Oh, that's a Cadillac right there.
I mean,
Wow.
I got the
Big boy
utensils
stuff.
taken off.
Just
I
hanging,
got the spatula, the cleaner, the grill, the fork. I mean, I am
doing it up.
Mr. Barbecue with the wheels.
Yeah.
This person has got my grill in Missy's door, and they got prongs with my prongs, and they're fighting each other.
Oh my God.
I've got my 45 automatic in my hand,
Okay.
looking out the eye hole. I open the door and I go, "Can I cuss on this show or not?"
No, this is of course.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yes.
I go, "What the fuck is going on here?" And the guy turns around. I got my gun in his hand, and I go, "Oh my God, Eddie Gilbert!"
Right.
Swear to God. And now here we go, Mike Fralick. There's a name.
That's a name from the
Mark.
past.
Hey, the Mark.
Yeah.
Google. It's either Mark or Mike Fralick, an Atlanta Falcon football player. In the middle of this gun-pulling fight over my barbecue grill,
1 second.
comes
Some people might not know who Eddie Gilbert is. We got to let them know I am the wrestling historian. Those of you who may not know who hot stuff Eddie Gilbert, he was like an amazing wrestler from back in the late 80s, early 90s. He wrestled for like, what was it? He wrestled WWE. I know he was big with Jerry Lawler back in the day. He was, what else? Come on,
big,
Smoky
big
Mountains,
wrestler.
big. He was like the beginning of ECW, if you guys remember that, back when it was still Eastern Championship Wrestling.
Yes.
He helped start ECW. He was one of their first stars. He was there with like when they only had him and Terry Funk and like Jimmy Snuka. So like that's who he is. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Was it
No, that's go ahead, Mike.
was it Bill Frelick?
Bill, that's it.
Who
Okay.
is this guy?
Big old
That
boy.
Oh,
dude,
that's a big
Bill
old boy.
Fralick,
Yeah.
He comes walking out of Missy's apartment
Oh shit.
in the middle of all this.
So that's who was fighting with Eddie. She's banging him.
Yes. Here comes 6'7", whatever he was.
Holy shit.
He
Let's
was
see
in
what
the
he is.
WWF too. He did a WWF skit a little
Oh,
bit.
did he? I should know
Very
that
good.
then. I need to check that out.
Very
He was
little
there for a
time.
cup of coffee.
He was there for less than me, I think.
Oh shit. Well, that's not even a cup of coffee then. He had like
It ain't even a cup
he,
of coffee,
he
bro.
had a sip. He had a sip of coffee. Little
He got it delivered and then taken away from him. Yeah, so during this commotion, here comes Bill Fralick, and we all just step aside because here comes this giant man. Eddie don't say nothing, but I think that's what they were fighting over. He was there because he caught wind that Fralick, there he is. in
There he is.
WWF.
There's his little
WrestleMania
sip.
2, it says.
There's his sip.
Says he was at WrestleMania 2 for something.
Ooh, we're gonna have to check into that. We'll have to look into that.
Look at that.
Oh, don't worry.
So hear me out now. Now I pulled a gun on Eddie Gilbert. I've shaken his hand. But now, a month later, Eddie Gilbert is in global wrestling, and I've got to wrestle him.
Oh shit.
Now I got to wrestle a guy that I pulled a gun on just a month ago.
That a little nervous, huh?
So I walk up to him and I say, "Hey, brother, just making sure. Are we cool about me pulling that gun on you?" "Oh, yeah, brother, we're cool, you know." So
Wrestlers.
Eddie was also at global.
Wrestlers. You see that? Yeah, man, it's all good. Pull a gun on me.
Eddie by
Gives a
DQ.
shit.
The DQ finish is what it says right here.
Oh, you
Yes.
beat him by the DQ.
Yes, and he was the champ. So I think I didn't get to win the belt, but I think it was a TV title match.
Well, it was a disqualification.
Yeah.
Back then, they didn't give
It
out
was
the
a
titles
TV
there.
taping, so it probably was.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, that was a great.
So not only you
We
pull
really
a gun
thought-
on him, then you go out there and you beat him in the match against him.
course.
Holy shit! Of
You
course.
want to
Right?
know something, Buff?
Tell us
I
more.
was that was my birthday. I was 1 year old that day.
Holy shit,
go.
bro.
That's
See?
crazy.
It's written in the stars. That's why you're here, brother. Written in the stars.
Yes.
All right.
Mark, baby.
On to the next. All right. So, since we're still in the beginning, you've wrestled under all kinds of names. The very first one, obviously, was the Fabulous Fabian, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then after that was Handsome Stranger, right?
Fabulous Fabian. Yes. Handsome Stranger.
Okay. And then after that, you were Marcus Alexander Bagwell, right?
Yes,
Or were you
yes.
Marcus first?
Well, the story on the name is my real name is Marcus Alexander Bagwell,
Sounds amazing.
but my whole schooling, football, baseball, wrestling, boxing, I was Mark Bagwell. To this day, if I hear, and I'm in an airport somewhere, and if I hear, hey, Mark, that's somebody
That knows you. Got you.
That's somebody I grew up with. So if I hear Mark, I stop and turn because that's my true, real thing.
Like
Friends
roots.
call
Like
me
roots. Yeah, roots.
Mark. When I got in trouble, I got called Marcus. My mom would call me Marcus when I was in trouble. So I graduated as Mark Bagwell. Well, fast forward to Dusty Rhodes,
Dusty.
and he wanted to use my real name.
The dream, baby.
So a guy named Rhubarb Jones. He was
Rhubarb.
a country. Look it up, Mark.
Mark.
Look it up, the Mark.
Come on,
He
Mark.
was a
Rhubarb Jones.
Rhubarb Jones. Look it up.
Radio announcer. Rhubarb Jones. He was a country radio announcer, a really big one. But he was WCW's ring announcer.
Oh, wow.
So my very first win at WCW, there he is, Rhubarb Jones.
Rhubarb.
So when I won my first match against Rip Rogers, Rhubarb Jones goes, the winner of the match is Mark Alexander Bagwell. And I didn't want to be called by my real name.
Yeah, right.
But if you're going to call my real name, Marcus flows better.
Oh, yeah. It rolls off the
So I
tongue,
went to
baby.
Dusty. Dusty, man, I don't want to use my real name. He says, we are. I love it. We're going to make it mean something. I'm like, it's crazy. My parents loved it. I hated it.
I bet.
So they, from that point on, I was Marcus Alexander Bagwell.
I loved it. I'm sorry. I loved it. I've loved you since even
Yeah.
back then. I loved it. All right. So
Yes.
out of all of these, and then obviously you're Buff because you're Buff and you're the stuff. So out of all of these names, though, is Buff like your favorite of all of them? Is that like of all of them? Because people wanted to know. Think about it.
I really think it. And they all mean it's like my tag team titles. They all mean something huge to me.
Yeah.
But and all my names, I mean, the Fabulous Fabian. There's a story behind it. The
Go.
guy that named me, there was a singer named Fabian that wore his hair up high, and that's supposedly the guy he took me from. What was the big guy's name that North Georgia Wrestling? Joe Pedicino.
Joe Pedicino. Look him up, Mark.
Bonnie Blackstone and Joe Pedicino were married, and Joe Pedicino is who ran the North Georgia Wrestling that I started, and he's who named me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was over this singer named Fabian, and so that's where it came from. I added, or they did, the word fabulous to it, so it was the Fabulous Fabian.
Were
So,
you the Fabulous Fabian?
now, Eric, that's him, brother. That's him.
Wow.
Joe Pedicino. And he was
Yeah,
our
that's
announcer at
cool
Global.
right there.
He was at Global as well.
Okay.
And but Bill Eadie is who thought of the Handsome Stranger.
The Handsome Stranger. That's when you
Listen.
used to give them girls flowers, right? The Handsome Stranger.
That's what
Yes.
they thought of this character.
Mark,
They
pull up
gave
the
me
Handsome
his-
Stranger. Let them see him. If there's a picture, they need to see,
I've
just
got
in
a
case.
Lone Ranger mask on, and I would come out with roses. They bought real roses
Bill
for
Eadie?
every appearance. There I am, brother.
Bill Eadie.
That's Bill Eadie,
That's
right?
Bill Eadie.
That's Big Bill. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see
Remember, he was
Handsome Stranger.
Demolition.
Yeah, I remember that. I know him from that. That's who that is. Demolition, baby.
But I think the story is his wife thought of it, but Bill Eadie and Joe Pedicino, that's who was running
Global.
Global Wrestling at the time.
Wow.
So they came to me with this character. You didn't say yes or no. You just said okay.
That's not the
They
wrestling
came to
biz,
me
yo.
and told me what I was going to do. But Lightning Kid, which was X-Pac,
Sean Waltman.
he was out there. Eddie Gilbert, there he is.
There he is! Look at the handsome stranger! Looking beautiful,
Yeah.
you glorious bastard. There he is! Look at this kid, bro. Look how young he is, y'all.
I'm an old 19 or a really young 20 right there.
God, you're a baby, bro. Oh my God, that's baby buff daddy right there. All right, on to the next. Yeah.
So the handsome stranger thing was there, and then with Buff, I think to answer your question, Buff was the closest thing. Like I think Stone Cold's was when he was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think that was the closest to
Who you are.
who he really was.
Yeah, I get you.
And I think The Rock, is the closest to he being The Rock. I think Buff. From the time I thought of the name, I didn't think of it. Nick Patrick
did. I knew it. I just, I have to act like I don't know anything.
I mean, instantly, everybody was like, man, that's perfect. Buff Bagwell, man, that's really good.
That's when it changed for me. You became my favorite.
It took off, and it just made sense, and it was Buff and the stuff, and the girls can't get enough, and flexing and posing, and there he is. It just made it work.
Dude, I remember I was in high school right when you were doing that stuff, dude. I used to come out to lunch every day, the biggest just wrestling nerd, just coming out there flexing for no reason, just because you used to come out like that, bro. All right.
Absolutely.
Here's one. There's stories, I guess, of you shooting your dad. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, did you see the Vice show or not?
I saw part of it. I didn't want to, I still, I don't want to watch everything right now because, it's got to be kind of like fresh for our show.
Sure. It's a good one, but it's a true story. We were going broke, and, my parents were fighting. Of course, we're millionaires, and we're going broke, and there's tension.
That's stressful.
Real stressful. There was no drugs or alcohol involved in this process, but it was just very stressful. And the two brothers had houses. They both were living out of the house, and I was in the house. So I was catching all of the heat, man, that was coming down. And mom and dad were fighting a lot, and there was, millions of dollars getting lost here, and no way to fix it. And I'm watching it happen. I'm going to high school still, but I'm watching this happen. I'm still playing football, playing baseball, and watching my parents go broke, Yeah. And so in the middle of all this, they start fighting one day, and I go down to break them up, and my dad bolts for his gun, which is always on the refrigerator, and he grabs the gun and comes back, and I'm like, look, man, just put the gun down, bro. You're going to kill one of us. But at this stage, I'm pissed off, too.
Of course, right?
I'm like, oh, my God. I'm flipped as well. I've been hearing them fight. I've been getting cussed and in trouble, and nobody's in a good place right now in the family. And then in the middle of that, the doorbell rang, and it was our cable guy to come fix our cable. And it was, like Jim Carrey, the cable guy.
Yeah, hey!
Really, really ding-dong happened as a gun was on me. And my dad goes, get the door, Judy. So Judy goes to get the door, and when she gets there, she goes outside with a cable guy, and Dad still got a gun on me. He goes, get outside and get all the keys out of the cars. Nobody's leaving.
Holy shit.
So I go outside, and I remember walking by the cable guy and my mom, and I go, I'm going to kill that motherfucker one day.
Oh.
And but not thinking I was.
Obviously. Yeah.
Mad, So I walk by, get the keys out of the car, and as I'm coming back in, he shoots the tires out of the car Mom's leaving in.
Holy shit.
And he grabs her and pulls her out of the driver's side window.
Okay.
I look and see that the cable guy is watching all of this.
He didn't help?
And what happens next is a medical, it's got to be a name for it. I get so overwhelmed with whatever was going on inside me that I black out.
Uh-oh.
I black out and run right past the infamous refrigerator where all the guns are.
Yeah.
I get a gun out of his closet. I come back. I don't remember any of this transition.
Okay.
But I came back outside in front of the bushes where you couldn't see the gun down here by my waist. And I said, "Hey, motherfucker, you want to pop some caps?"
Uh-oh.
And I brought the gun up, and man, it goes into slow motion for me. I mean, slow
Clint Eastwood style.
motion. I go, blow the windshield out, and I go, blow the windshield out. 3, 4, and I said, kill him. A voice came inside me and it said, kill him. And I just put it right over on him and squeezed it off.
Wowzers.
25 years later, my dad tells me I squeezed them off as fast as you could squeeze them.
It wasn't slow motion. Yeah.
It was a 38 revolver,
Pow, pow, pow.
but he thought I had my 45 automatic because he went, pow, 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 pow.
Damn.
Just rolled off real quick. But in that process, he gets hit and he goes behind the car.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back inside. I'm out of bullets. I lock the door, go upstairs, get my 45 automatic, I put one in it, go back downstairs. Somebody's knocking on the door. I go up to the door, and I don't know why I didn't look at the curtain.
Yeah.
I just open it, and it's Mom. And she goes, "You shot your father."
Like, damn, I was saving you.
Crazy lady, I just saved your life.
Yeah, I was saving you.
So I go to the phone, and I call my brother, and he had a company called Bagwell Drywall. And I said, "Hey, John," I go, "Get home, brother. I just shot Dad." "You just did what?" I said, "Just get over it. I shot Dad." So now I got my gun, and I'm going to get back what he's been putting us through for a couple of months.
I got you.
So I walk outside and face to face him.
Scared him.
I said, "Listen, bro," I go, "you have tortured us for the last several months." He goes, just as cool as he could do it, brother. He's shot. He's bleeding.
Yeah, like a badass. He's shot.
He goes, "If you don't mind, I'm bleeding right now." I said, "I hope you bleed to fucking death."
Boy, they make the Bagwells tough, though. You see that, right? Them Bagwells are built tough, dog.
I didn't want to cry, but I cried.
Yeah.
And I walked off, and then I listened to the cops come over and them say he shot himself, and the cops had to leave. They got in a fight because my brothers cussed or something, and they cussed the cops out. And the cops had to leave. And then, but
that Bagwell gang.
Nothing, but nobody charged anything, or nobody went to jail or anything. So I moved in with my brother Steve. It seemed like a year, but it was probably only a couple of months.
Yeah.
And my dad called me up one day and said, "Look, I forgive you, and you did nothing wrong." I had zero remorse.
Yeah.
I wasn't upset about it. I did nothing wrong, brother.
No.
I did nothing wrong.
Saved your mother.
And so he called me, told me he was sorry, and I could come back home. So I went back home and got my car back, and I was back in the house, but not for long because we were, I got married pretty quick, and then I had to move out anyway because we were going broke.
You see that, guys? I'm from South Carolina. He lives in Georgia. That happens down here more than you guys would think, actually. We can get in fights with our family. Shit, as you see, we can shoot our dad, and then we're best of friends. Because family bonds are strong, okay? They're strong in the South, just so you know. All right. This is so cool so far. All right, so here's a bit of a funny one. Since we just told, like, a serious one, I want to get, like, a funny one. Here's one that a lot of people have already probably heard, but I'm going to actually read the story for this one, because I've heard it as long as, forever now. This is the one about supposedly your mother and a bag shaving incident, if you see what I'm saying, okay? In this story, Kevin Nash has told a couple of times over the years from his first run in WCW, Marcus Alexander Bagwell and Vinny Vegas were scheduled for a match at the TV tapings, and both lived near each other in Georgia. So Nash was going to pick Buff up, and they were going to drive to the show together so they could discuss the match. Nash says, this is what our boy Nash says, that when he got to Buff's house, the front door was open, so he knocked and yelled something like, "Hey Marcus, you in there?" Buff yelled back something like, "Over here in the bathroom, come on in." Nash went in and stood by the door, but Buff told him to come in the bathroom. To come in the bathroom. This is great. All right. When he walked into the bathroom, Buff supposedly was standing. You were supposedly standing there with a leg up, like the captain, okay? Leg up on the toilet, and a lady knelt down in front of him, shaving his coin purse, his bag, y'all. Right? Buff was like, hey, Kev, meet my mom, Judy. Judy, meet Kevin. And gave Kevin a look like, what, bro? Your mom doesn't shave your bag? Here we go. We have to talk about that one, Buff. I told the Mark I was gonna do this. He was like, nah, don't ask Buff about the bag shaving. Go.
Well, that was a great story. First of all, that made Vice as well.
Oh God.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, keep in mind that was probably 30 plus years ago.
Yeah.
So so it was 25 was 99. So it was a good 28, 29 years ago, brother. But I don't remember Kevin seeing this.
Okay.
For two reasons. Matter of fact, let me confirm that. I hate to do this.
Hey, well, this is what it's about.
Kevin didn't see it.
Kevin did not see this.
Because, let me tell you why. Because I had a broke neck at the time, and there's no reason, unless he was coming over to see me with my broke neck, which could be.
Could be.
Let me rephrase that.
Could be.
We wasn't going to wrestling for sure, because I had the reason for my mom and my wife that was shaving me at the time. The reason for that is because I couldn't look down with the neck harness.
That's right.
See, there's always a story.
There's always a story.
More logical.
There's.
So I got the neck harness, so I can't see down to shave my legs, and I need help. The fabrication in the story that makes it a really good one is
Yeah.
the shaving the bag. I mean, it didn't happen.
Obviously,
I was butt naked, and she's shaving my butt. And my wife is shaving one leg, and my mother is shaving the other one. It's all true except for the bag.
There you go. There you go. There you go. No bag shaving, y'all. I mean, I wouldn't think so.
Nash, but I don't think he saw that. I think he heard the story, but he may have been there. But if he was there, he was coming by just to see me and say hello, which he did. I think him and Lex came by with my broke neck. I didn't think I was shaving during that, but yes, butt naked. And Erica was my second wife. She was doing the other leg, and she's never made the story.
No.
She was doing the other leg. My mom was doing the other leg. And but let me tell you something, mother or not, I ain't letting nobody shave my bag.
No, that's careful. No one loves your bag like you. That's crazy, man.
That's a shirt.
Sometimes I miss,
Hey, you nick that puppy.
I expect you not to.
Nick that puppy and it's lights out.
You bleed for a minute.
You bleed to death. All right, see, there we go.
Story.
There's the bag story. There we go. All right, next. Let's talk about. Ooh, here's a good one. All right, you back in the day, obviously, were good friends with Disco, obviously, right? You and Glenn used to hang out. Great friends, right?
Great.
All right, here we go. So I heard. I'm not gonna blah blah blah, but I'll say. Guys, I'm kind of in now. Being friends with this guy has kind of gotten me in. I've talked to all kinds of people. So here's a story from someone that you may not know. Disco said you guys used to go to the nightclubs all the time back in those days, right? And then for some reason, it'd always be a guy like my size or some shit. Drunk as hell, wants to test Buff. So I heard stories of you smacking dudes the hell around. I want to just give us a couple, Buff. Give us a couple. Tell us a story. Tell us a story about you and Glenn getting drunk at one of these country western bars, because he used to say that's what you loved. He said, I thought he was a country boy, though, wasn't he?
Disco really wasn't, but man, there was a club in Marietta called Cowboys. And every Wednesday night was ladies' night. When I tell you, every person made Wednesday night at Cowboys. I mean, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving was the biggest party night in Atlanta because it was a giant big club, and it was in Kennesaw, Georgia, way up north. But it was a fantastic place where everybody for it to meet. And it was a big club, but it was country music and all that. But at that location, at Cowboys, we do all kind of country bars and stuff, but when you go to those, we go out of town, we try to find another one that was equal to that, another
Yeah.
kind of country place. While we're there, along the way, as Marcus Bagwell was growing up at 16 years old, I was a tough kid. I was a Golden Glove state champion boxer, so I knew how to fight. I was a baby of 3 boys, so I was a tough kid. But in my growing up days, you didn't get in trouble for fighting.
No.
You just if you knock somebody out,
That was what
you
happened.
knocked them out, and hey man, you got your ass kicked, and you went back to the party.
Y'all shook
And you
hands, had a beer together. What happened to that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the old.
Let me tell you what happened to it. This
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
phones.
Yep,
Everybody got tough when this happened.
that's true. Telephone tough
Everybody.
guys.
Because everybody, oh, you calling me? Oh, dude, and the police are on the way, and somebody's going to jail. So, as before these happened, and there was a problem, my father taught us that the first punch, and if somebody else is listening, you need to learn this.
Listen,
The first punch is 90% of the fight.
it's true.
If you get a first punch in, you're staggering, you're digging, man. But if you punch, your knuckles are scratched up and you can break a hand. So my father taught us to get the first punch in with a really good slap.
Okay.
Real good. I mean, I'm talking about, brother,
Like a pimp slap.
not just
Wow.
somebody. I'm talking
Powder
about
it up.
that show you watch when they're slapping people that's knocking them out. I've knocked guys out with a slap. So in Marietta, Georgia, it got called the Bagwell slap.
The Bagwell slap.
It was just the Bagwell slap, and it was just a good, quick. And what it came from is our father taught us that don't mark your hands up. So when the police come, they look and there's nothing on your hands or face, and it just takes a situation and it shows people who's in charge.
That's true too.
And it was now keep in mind, there's a few times that slap got my ass whipped. But hey,
It ain't gonna work every time.
2 out of 100.
Yeah.
It was a controller. People saw that slap and they went, "Oh my
Holy
God."
shit. Yeah.
I mean, who would touch a kid that did that so quick, so fast, and did it with power? It was a situation controller, and it worked.
It's a bitch slap.
And then these happened, and you go to jail for that. So I got 9 or 10 simple assault charges by slapping somebody.
Wowzers. Hey. Man, hey, y'all need to listen though. You get that Bagwell slap when you talk shit to my boy though. See? And don't call the police. Don't be fucking upset. Because if my boy's slapping the shit out of you, you must need it, okay? Look at it. I mean, why would you look at him? Why would you talk shit to him? Why would you talk shit to
Hitting's
him?
assault in this society.
Like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Like, the police should show up and take you to jail. They should be like, well, why would you want to get in a slap fight with this big motherfucker? You're under
You
arrest
need to go.
right now.
You need to go to jail, toughen
You
up.
need to
He's
go to
got
jail and
bitch
toughen
slap.
up. You just got bitched
Yes.
out. All right.
It really was a situation controller. It really did grab everybody, and I'm not just saying it because I did it.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. It was impressive.
Of
man.
course.
When I slapped somebody, it sounded. I remember slapping a guy in a gym one day. Swear to God, true story.
Here we go.
It was called not Kegels. It was Stacks Gym. Look it up. They're still in business, and you can ask the owner if you want to ask him this story.
Hanging
He
and
will tell
banging.
you. The owner of Stacks Gym's name is Bobby Pauley. Bobby Pauley saw me in his gym one day, and there was a kid that wrestled for us named Chase Tatum.
Chase Tatum.
And when Chase Tatum was not wrestling with us yet, we were just at the gym.
There's the
That's
gym. Hanging and banging at Stacks Gym, baby.
That's where I created Marcus Alexander Bagwell, brother.
Wow.
That's so cool.
That is badass.
Look at that little building, folks.
Just in that teeny tiny
Okay.
building is where you
This
can
is
make
exciting.
all
Little
of this.
warehouse, and it's still in business, man. That's it, brother.
That's how
Stacks
you
Gym.
make that right there, guys.
The owner of that gym is a guy named Bobby Pauley.
Mm-hmm.
And over a fight with Chase Tatum one day, this kid was dogging out Chase, and me and Chase were working out.
Yeah.
And he kept on Chase, and Chase was tough too. But Chase wasn't saying nothing back. And I said, Chase, are you gonna let this boy talk to you like that? And the boy goes, you got something to say, big man? Wow.
The Bagwell slap.
A Bagwell slap. And hey, it sounded, you can ask Bobby Polly this. I've
been inside that place.
It sounded like a shotgun went off.
I bet.
Bobby Polly asked me to leave his very nicely. He goes, I can't believe, I'm really surprised you struck him.
Struck him.
I said, I didn't strike him. I knocked him out. He goes, Martin, I'm going to ask you to leave my gym. And this is the true story. So I said, of course, Bobby, I'm sorry. I apologize. Again, these wasn't out, so I didn't go to jail.
Not that time.
So, not that time. So
Bastards.
I leave. I go join another gym somewhere, and I get on TV, and guess who calls me back?
Who calls you back?
Bobby Polly. Hey, buddy, you can come back to Stack's gym if you want to.
Yeah, I need you. Publicity
Like,
right there.
Bobby, come
You
on,
should-
Bobby.
Hey, Bobby, you should pay me a little bread.
And I said, buddy, I love you to death, but I love Bobby, and I've gone back to his gym during COVID, but I didn't go back at that time. I was kind of pissed off about it. They
Should have been.
his gym.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did. I definitely should have been. But it actually was his father. His father was alive at that time, and was pretty upset that I slapped the kid. And just they nicely asked me to leave, and I said sorry, So I went out in my big 1991 white Corvette and drove off.
Oh God, I've seen pictures of that. By the way, there's pictures of like
Yes.
you and Lex like hanging out of that shit. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, a lot of fun.
Well, I bet. Oh, okay. All right. Next. People want to know about our good buddy Del Wilkes. He just passed away. Those of you who might not know about our buddy Del. Del is one of Buff's closest, oldest friends. Plus, he wrestled as the Patriot back in the day. They were Stars and Stripes, one of my favorite tag teams as well. He wrestled at WCW, obviously. He was at American Wrestling Association, Global Wrestling. That's probably where y'all first probably linked up, I would imagine. Yes. And WWF. You guys know who Del Wilkes is. Go ahead. Tell us about your good buddy.
Absolutely. Del Wilkes. I'll give you a really good story that nobody knows.
Good.
Del Wilkes, first time meeting him. I am at WCW. I've had a lot of success early. I was Rookie of the Year. I was, WCW's Rookie of the Year. Me and Scorpio were Tag Team of the Year. Me and Scorpio were World Tag Team Champions. So very good
Scorpio.
192 year for Buff Bagwell, Marcus Bagwell, really good going on. Scorpio gets fired, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. Well, instead, they tell me I'm going to be Stars and Stripes, and they hire a guy named Del Wilkes. So I haven't quite got to meet Del yet.
Damn, they picked him for you, basically.
Yes. So we get together, and I meet his wife. In the transaction, and Del, let me tell you what Del's real name is.
Okay.
Del's real name is Delbert.
Yep. Delbert
so brother,
Alexander.
Any boy that's named Delbert.
He's got to be tough. Oh, a little bit? I mean,
Delbert.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
He's from here. He's from South Carolina. So, yeah, you can't get much countryer than us.
Yeah, he's a country boy.
Oh, yeah.
So his wife, and the first time meeting him, I'm a country boy too, and I call her Sweetie. And guess what? It don't get told to me then. The nasty boys come to me because they loved me, and they go, how did you piss off Del Wilkes? And I go, first of all, who's Del Wilkes?
Oops.
He goes,
the guy that we handpicked for you.
God. I didn't know his name, brother. I didn't know. So what have I done? She goes, you said you called his wife Sweetie. There it is. Clash of Champions.
Dude, look at you. See them titles, y'all?
So, yes. So so I told the Nasty Boys actually took up for me and said, that's how Bagwell is, Del. But I was upset that Del didn't come to me.
Right?
I love how we did our tights with those.
Bro, you guys, one of your greatest gimmicks, honestly. I loved it. That was a good one.
Del allowed me to do all of our uniforms and stuff. He wouldn't listen to me all the way. If you remember, Del did the tights and the old school shorts.
And the old school shorts over him.
I tried to talk him out of that, and he
Wasn't
wouldn't do
good.
it, brother. He wanted the old school,
The old school shorts.
Yeah, the
Hey.
shorts over. So we did it. We made him work with the boots, the red, white, and blue.
You guys
boots,
looked
all
great.
That was my idea. He had the great mask, and he was me and him really worked good together on the way our outfits looked, and
It was
he
beautiful.
just
He
looked
had the
great.
mask. You had the face. Like, dude,
Yes.
I highly recommend anybody watching. If you have not seen Stars and Stripes match, go on the network, check out WCW. Dude, this guy. Check out some Stars and Stripes matches. They're good. This is when Mark was like really just getting like kind of still learning and just doing. That's when you were doing crazier things. Like he was jumping off of everything. He was,
top rope outside stuff didn't happen back then.
And you were doing it. You were crazy, bro. You were crazy.
That high five stuff didn't happen a lot back then, and it did for us. We did a lot of the ring rope stuff, and but yeah, so it started off shaky, and then me and Del Wilkes became like best friends. Me and Del passed away. Me and him being tighter than you could ever be. So I'm really happy that we did that. But at first, I called his wife Sweetie, and he didn't like it.
Dude, I loved it. Like the way, no matter, even when there was like negative publicity about you, that was one guy like throughout all these little interviews. Because obviously I watched all the interviews about you. So like he was like the only one that well, there's a couple others, but he never had anything bad to say about you. That guy right there loved you to death. Like he really did.
Me and Dale were super tight, and I loved him so much. He was again one of those few that really knew and took up for Mark Bagwell.
That's right. All right. So, well, we talked about Dell. We're gonna go back just a little bit because I wanted to talk about Dell first because, to be honest, I like Del more than the next character. Too Cold Scorpio. All right. Now, you guys were a tag team, and watching you on TV as a kid and all that, I loved it, okay? I loved it. All right. But I watched interviews. Some of you have watched interviews where this guy...
He drills me, bro.
Yeah, let me take a little bit of liberty so you don't got to sound like a dickhead. This son of a bitch would go on different... Y'all know who that's Flash Funk, okay? He was there for a cup of coffee for that shit, too. Anyways.
Yes.
All right, so this guy proceeded to talk shit about my guy in interviews like... Who were you married to at the time? What was her name? Was that when you...
Tanya.
That's when he was married to Tanya. So supposedly, right? I can say this, right?
St. Martin.
Okay. Supposedly, they're going to St. Martin. What were y'all going for? Somebody's wedding or some shit, right?
No, it was Ric Flair had opened up a Gold's Gym in St. Martin, and we had to go down during Easter, and nobody wanted to go, but it was a paid-for vacation, but we had to wrestle, and this is where the story transitions.
So this son of a bitch tells stories that while on this trip for some who knows reason... My boy goes to Too Cold Scorpio basically and says, hey, fuck my wife. Show her what it's like to be with a real man. So Too Cold Scorpio tells the story that this motherfucker pats Buff Bagwell's wife on the fucking head and said, you're going to feel like what it's like to get fucked by a real man tonight. And supposedly my boy is just standing there for this shit like a cuck, right? Now... I already know that's not true.
No Bagwell slap, no nothing, right?
No Bagwell slap. This motherfucker shot his dad, okay? But he let you say some crazy shit like that to his wife in front of him. I don't believe it. Go ahead and tell me the story, please. The world needs to know this one. I know everybody's heard it too, but right here on this one.
Stars at this stage, all the heat that I supposedly got in my career came as
look at that
Buff
fat piece of shit.
Marcus Alexander Bagwell didn't have no heat. I drove Sting around. We were best friends. The Nasty Boys loved me. I was friends with the whole locker room because I was Marcus.
You were the rookie of the fucking year.
I was the rookie of the year. I'm the Scorpio, same thing. When I saw this video for the first time of him doing this talk, I mean, brother, I came unglued. There was nothing I could do about it. I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me, bro. So I did somewhere out there, and you may be able to find it, There is my rebuttal.
Oh, I saw that too. That was like on Hannibal
I
TV
do
or
a
some shit.
rebuttal, but it's a rebuttal over a complete fabrication.
A bullshit story.
Supposedly, it started with me bumping him out of a first class seat.
Oh, so you
That's where it
offered your
started.
wife's
On the
vagina
trip.
for that?
The beginning of the trip started where I asked him to not sit in first class or something, which that may have been true, but the way he told it, it wasn't true because he acted like I took it over from him or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I would never do that.
That's his tag team partner,
wives on
guys.
trips were rare, and he didn't step on the boys for something like that. It was unnecessary. But then he talked about listening on the wall and us having sex, and
He was listening through the wall to hear y'all have sex? That's weird.
He was at the other hotel. Again, it wasn't true.
Why would he even
I
tell a
was at
lie
the
like that?
nicer-
That's crazy.
Before I say this, it was by luck.
Okay.
I was in the nicer hotel. There were two hotels the guys got split up in. And we had the shitty one at first, and then by pure luck, we got switched to the good hotel.
Yeah, I'll say why.
Yeah, but
Because he was shit and
in
Marcus
there-
wasn't.
Yeah, I wanted Scorpio to do my wife is what happened, right? Oh God, it's a complete fabrication. And then we saw each other after that, and we shook hands and I think I just had a shoulder replacement. So there's no Bagwell slap.
Ooh, you don't want to fight this guy at this moment, maybe.
I don't want to get beat up.
Yeah.
So even if keep in mind Scorpio's tough.
Yeah, he
I
is
don't
a
wanna
tough son
fight
of a
him,
bitch.
Period. I don't want to fight him, period, but not with the. I can't fight him with a shoulder.
With a bad
so
wing.
I had a knife with me when I first met him in case he got.
Just in case he got a little squirrely.
Just in case, and he ended up apologizing, shaking hands, and just.
Oh, so you guys are friends now?
I had to let it go. Well, and we were friends. And then he goes on buys and dogs me out again.
Oh wow. Well, he probably needs money, bro. Think about it. I'm sorry. I'm a dickhead.
If you talk to him, he owes me $300 for the last pair of wrestling tights I got us.
You fucking bitch. You owe my boy some money. Flash Funk. You owe my boy some money.
But he was always nice to me. He gets on these cameras and just goes crazy. I mean, I swear to God, I love Tuco Scorpio.
Yeah.
He told it was a complete fabrication.
Bro.
He was not even at our hotel. And by the way, hear me out on this.
Mm-hmm.
That was the trip he got fired on.
See?
From that trip, he did a bunch of coke and got drug tested and got fired for cocaine.
I think, yeah, see, that was the whole...
St. Martin, if you check your history book, DeMarc, he got fired after St. Martin WCW.
Boom. And honestly, not to sound like a total dick if you do happen to see this, because we're going to be on YouTube and everything, and I know you're probably watching because you ain't got shit to do but probably look at my boy. I did love the shit out of you until I heard that story, for real. When I heard that shit come out your lips, because I watched you at ECW, Too Cold. The tumble, you were flipping around. You were one of the first, dude, I'm black and white. You were one of the first black guys, like, doing fucking amazing shit. And what the fuck? How can you say these things about your partner? Anyways, on to the next. Yeah. All right. For some reason, people wanted me to ask you about Goldberg. Is there, like, now... I claim to know everything, but I don't know. Is there any like a Goldberg story, or is there some beef, or I don't fucking know.
There is one. There's a few. Let me give you one.
Let's go.
Goldberg. And I only heard this by one of his videos he did on like some kind of dark side of the ring, not dark side, but some kind of podcast or something bigger than a podcast. But on TV, he tells a story.
Okay.
About. At Lex Luger and Sting's gym in Marietta, Georgia, it was called Main Event Fitness.
Main Event Fitness, I know that. Ooh.
They had two of them. They had one in Buford, and they had one in Marietta. During the time they had the one in Buford, it was a downstairs gym, and it was a good one, and we'd always meet there because Lex and him lived up 85.
Okay.
So that was a better main event to train at.
Boom.
So the first time I met Lex Luger was at Buford, his gym in Buford. And me and Sting were best friends, so we trained together every day. So me and Sting met Lex for the first time at Buford. During that training time, with me and Lex and Sting trained together, Goldberg was going to that gym, and he was trying to break into the business.
Okay.
One day, and there's no way you could tell Bill any other story right here. He could take this story over right now, and he has a whole nother story. But
I heard he's
he
a bit of a
thinks,
fabricator. I'm not.
well, I don't. There's a chance he just got it wrong and
Okay.
thought it was me when it wasn't.
Okay.
But Lex used to make these Herman Monster sounds, like just really real deep voice, and Lex would go. Sting would always say, "Give me a Herman." And Goldberg don't know anything about this, but one day Bill was in there bench pressing, and Lex made that sound. Somehow or another, the story got turned around that I was making fun of Bill bench pressing.
Oh.
Brother, if you could read through that, I'm telling you, it stuck like glue.
Really?
I mean, he believed that I did this intentionally and made fun of him, like going bench pressing, and it was the farthest. I love Bill Goldberg, and he's one of the biggest stars I know. But at the time, he was a piece of bubble gum on my shoe.
Oh!
I didn't care.
Yeah, he wasn't shit yet. Yeah,
he was nobody.
Yeah.
He was nothing. I didn't care. I mean, I didn't care about him bench pressing. I could care less.
Yeah, you're doing your thing. I'm buff.
WCW World.
Yeah.
I'm buff. I mean, I'm buff. Yeah,
Not yet,
WCW
but yeah.
World Tag Team Champion. I'm
Rookie of the year.
somebody, and he really thought I took interest in him to make fun of him bench pressing.
Wow.
I had no idea about this story. He tells it, and somebody told me about it, and I happened to see it where he's convinced that I
Was making fun of
I
him.
mean, me, Lex, and Sting didn't say the word Goldberg ever between us.
I wouldn't
But he
think so.
thinks we talked about him and made fun of him, and it's not true.
That's crazy.
I love Bill Goldberg. And there was a time that Bill loved me. I'm not so sure now,
Yeah.
but me and Bill were real close for a long time, and I love Bill Goldberg to death, but I did not make fun of him that day. But let me tell you, brother, he thinks I did.
All right, Bill. You see that? He didn't make fun of you, Bill. He loves you, Bill. He loves you. He loves you, Bill.
Innocent. We love Goldberg.
That's right. Who doesn't love Goldberg?
Another Bill story though.
Go.
I got in some heat with Bill, and Lex. I had heat with a lot of people at this time. Where Buff had kind of got overloaded his ass a little bit, and just confront some people to make sure everything was cool.
Got you.
It was Harlem Heat. I had some heat with, and so I got everything straight with them, and I got straight with, I think, the Nasty Boys, and I had to go to Bill to get straight with some heat, but I didn't know what I had done. So I go to him, and I waited outside Orlando, and it was Orlando, Florida, but I can't remember the building's name.
Got you.
We're outside the building, and I wait outside for him. He pulls up. I go, hey, man, I said, I understand that I've upset you or something, bro. I go, well, what's the deal? And he goes, man, I saw you on the airplane one day. It was a big, heavy girl, and she asked you for an autograph, and you turned her down. And I said, Bill, that's not
you.
true. Bro.
Yeah.
I don't do that. And he goes,
Nope.
I saw you with my own eyes. Now, keep in mind, at this junction,
Yeah.
I've got 2 ways to go. I'm trying to get heat off of me,
Yes.
and now I can call Bill a liar,
Not a good
or I
idea.
can say, you know what?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, and I will work on that. So I took the high road and said, I'm sorry, and I will work on that. But to my knowledge, I've never done something like that, never would. But I cleared the heat up with Bill over that too.
Because Buff signs all autographs. Like, I'm speaking for you there. He's
one
never
down.
turned a fan down. He's notoriously famous for that. Any picture, even at inopportune times, because some of us fans, we're fucking stupid. This guy could be in the middle of taking a dump or something, and y'all like, hey, can I get a picture with you? And he will be polite and step out of there if you let him wipe and take a picture with you guys. He's
Surgery. I go to get my surgery, and I take 8x10s with me in my car in case. And sure enough, during my surgery, people want me to sign autographs, so I do it. It means a lot to me, man. So
It should.
That's why I know I didn't do that. But again, I didn't. I don't think Bill lied.
He might have just got it wrong.
Something wrong, or he just got it wrong. But I just have never, ever turned a person's autograph down, ever.
I wouldn't think he would anyways. All right, well, we were already talking about Sting. So yes, let's get back into like people want to know your relationship with Sting. He just retired. You know, everybody's loving Sting. I know you and Sting were like y'all. He was a part of the beginning of your career too. You Sting. That's how you met your best friend Lex. Let's talk about
Okay,
some Sting.
we're gonna tell a Sting story, and then we're
Oh,
gonna wrap it up.
okay,
This is gonna be it. Okay,
got you.
it's a good one.
Good.
Okay, Steve Borden is the guy to first take me in, and I was the young pretty boy, uh, you know, nothing happening. Why is he here, kid? And all of a sudden, a guy named Sting loves me, and I'm driving with Sting now. I mean, I'm driving to buildings. I'm in angles with Sting. He's going down to save me from getting beat up. I'm rubbing elbows with the top guys, and I'm getting instant, instant,
Start him.
fame and fortune because
Yeah.
of Sting, and it's incredible. We hit it off. So all the boys are like, "What are you doing with that Bagwell kid? What are you doing, man?" But he loved me, man. We had a special thing, and this is when the Valley Girl stuff was happening. Oh my
Oh,
God.
the walls in
Yeah,
the mall are totally
yeah.
tall.
Oh, that is totally gnarly. And oh my, gag me with a spoon and all that crap.
Yes.
Well, he's from California, and I did that really good. So that was three-quarters of what we did all the time. It was, oh my God. And we would
Okay.
just run with that. But we had fun with it. Well, finally, it was me, Eric Watts, and Sting on a road trip together. And it was the first time really being around Sting for a weekend. And I'm riding with Sting,
Excited,
the
right?
legend
Yeah.
Sting. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm all the things. Well, he buys us a room in the concierge level of the Marriott. I didn't even know what the
Wow.
concierge level even meant, but we're up with Sting in the Marriott, the top floor, special key, all that.
Mm.
Knock at the door before we go to bed. I look out, it's Sting. Open the door, and he goes, "I got cookies." I go, he goes, "You want one?" I go, "Yeah, man." So I reach in the bag, get a cookie. He has pooped in the bag,
Oh my
and he's
god.
got a chocolate chip cookie in the poop.
That's weird. That's pretty good. That's a
Brother,
prank, brother. That's
now
a stank prank.
That's
what
a
I
rib.
did, it is a rib. What I didn't tell is what happened earlier that day was I burped in the gym, and he got mad at me. He
Oh.
goes, "You don't ever burp in public around me ever again." It was 100% shoot. I was embarrassed. I was devastated that I upset Sting over burping out loud at a
He
gym.
don't like
And I
that.
said, Sting, I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again. Coming off that burp thing, I get a poop in the bag chocolate chip cookie. So I go, okay,
It's on.
okay, I see where we're at. Okay. So that night, I got to poop real bad before I go to bed. Eric Watts is with me. I hold it till the morning. He's got a paper in front of his door, and he will confirm this story, just so you know.
Okay.
He's got a paper, a big, giant USA Today paper in front of his door at the Marriott concierge level. I go steal his paper, come back in my room. I open his paper up, and I poop in the paper,
Takes a big shit.
facing the toilet, because any man or woman out there knows if you poop, you got to pee.
That's
So
right.
I'm peeing in the toilet while I'm pooping in his paper. I close the paper down, and I put it back in front of his door. Now, me and Eric Watts go downstairs, and we're sitting there. And now this rib has came off so good. Now I'm nervous.
Mm.
What have I done? I have just pooped in Sting's paper. Oh my God! What have
Maybe I
I done?
took it too far.
So I think I took it too far. So I'm sitting there. Eric Watts and Steve Borden can confirm this story. He's walking across the room at us, and he's walking like a valley girl. He's going. I'm going, and I go, "Oh my God, we don't know." All of a sudden, he gets to our table, and he slings the paper up, and poop
Comes.
goes across the table. And I go, before I could talk, he goes, "Oh my God, you guys are farting over here too in the elevator." And I said, "Steve, put the paper down." He goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Put the paper down." Poop is coming down a glass of water on the
Oh
table.
my God.
The rib's gone too far. I go, but and then finally he sees what it's done. It was crazy. No poop got on him, thank God.
Thank God.
It was funny. Good story, and nobody got hurt. But it ended with him pooping in the dash. He pooped in a bag and put it in the dash of the Cadillac. And we went inside the bowl in Louisiana in 99-degree weather.
Oh, God.
Came outside. The car stunk the whole rest of the road trip.
Oh my God. See?
But it was a poop week. It was a poop weekend.
It was a shitty weekend, to say the least. Ah! See, I'm good at this.
It was a shit show.
Ah, that's even better. All right, well,
That's a good one.
I feel like, what a better way to end this first one, right? Look at this guy. Bro, this was feeling good. Hold on, who is that? Who is that?
Me?
Where's the wifey?
She's downstairs. You want me to bring her up?
Yeah, grab her. All right, well, we're going to wrap up this first episode. My wife has to see your face real quick, though, okay?
Good.
Yes.
Do it.
All right, yeah, she's going to come say hello. And then we're going to wrap up the first episode. This is great. Next Sunday at 6. Look at those muscles. I don't have them like y'all. Buff, that's what we got to work on. You got to get me. Yeah, he's getting there.
Let's do it.
You got to get me there. And then the next thing is when you get that action figure, motherfucker, I better get one, okay?
Oh, you will. Y'all both got one. I'll get one too. I got. They gave me 50 of them. I got plenty. I'll give you guys a couple for sure.
Oh, you're the man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Hopefully she's
When we
hurrying.
talk, Chris, I'll get you. The mark. I'll sign one too.
Come here,
Just let me
baby.
know how you want me to sign it. But I'll call you before I sign it.
Oh, you hear that? Here, honey.
That's amazing. That sounds amazing.
Buff,
That's a good one.
come show your face. She wanted to see you, Buff. There she is. There's my better half. She's been
Yeah.
she's been putting up with all the stress before me doing this because I've been a fucking shithead for about a month. I was just stressed out
It's
about
okay.
all
We're
this.
good now. We're good.
We're good now. We're here.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, motherfuckers, we'll be here live again at 6 o'clock. Buff and Stuff podcast. This is just the first of many. Oh my God.
Ready to come. We got in a couple of weeks. We got a surprise guest, don't we?
Yes, we do. Do you want me to say it now? Am I allowed to?
Yes.
All right. The next episode, we're gonna do we're gonna talk about the sobriety journey for Buff because this is a big part of the podcast. And in episode 3, you lucky sons of bitches, totally devoted to American males. We're gonna have Scotty fucking Riggs on the show with
Yes.
Buff.
Yes.
Are you guys ready for that? Hey,
I'm ready.
once again, that American male. Dom, I can't play it.
Both look
If you
great.
see him coming, you
Looks
better
so
run
good.
for cover.
Amazing.
Girls, you don't need a weekend lover. American males.
Jimmy
American.
Hart wrote that song.
Jimmy
Yep.
Hart wrote like almost every